So recently I was invited by IIM Bangalore to interact with its current students, majorly around product management. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about a lot of interesting topics, starting from what is product management, and I'm going to explain with the help of an example. Then, what is the life cycle of product management? How is product management different in product based versus service based organizations? How you can get into product management both with and without MBA, also how you can transition from non-tech background into product management, along with, let's say you have a product development background, then how you can transition into product management. We will also talk about what are technical product management roles and what do you need to do to get into those kind of roles. Along with this, we will also talk about what kind of case studies are asked in product management interviews. And last, we will also cover what kind of courses you can take to strengthen your profile for product management. Now, let's start with understanding what is product management. Now, if I go by the definition which is given on Wikipedia, then product management is the business process of planning, developing, launching, and managing a product or service. It includes the entire life cycle of a product from ideation to development to go to market. And product managers are responsible for ensuring that a product meets the needs of its target market and contributes to the business strategy. Now, to make it simple, let me tell you that product management can be divided into 9 basic stages. The first one is idea generation, then you get into market research and planning, then you look at product strategy and feature prioritization. After that, you design the product. Only after that, you get into product development phase, you test the product, then you price the product, and that's after doing all of this, you launch the product. And once you have launched the product, it's very important to take feedback from your users and keep improving the product. Now, let's understand this with the help of an example and begin with idea generation. Now, let's say you notice that a lot of students and young professionals struggle to manage their tasks and projects. So, you come up with an idea of creating Taskmaster, which is basically a software tool which will help your users to organize their tasks, set deadlines, and also to collaborate with others. Now, before building Taskmaster, you will have to conduct a market research wherein you will survey potential users, you will analyze your competitors like Trello and Asana, and you will also identify key features that your target audience wants. Now, this will help you in creating a product roadmap and define the different development stages and key milestones. Now, obviously, your goal is to make it the most user-friendly and most efficient project management tool for students and young professionals. Now, in the previous stage, you have already identified key features that your target audience wants. So, in this stage, you will prioritize some of those features. Now, those features can be something like task creation and tracking, setting deadlines and reminders, and building collaboration tools, for example, chats or file sharing. Now, these kind of tools are things which the audience would want right from the beginning of the product. Now, once you have prioritized the key features, you will start collaborating with UI UX designers to create wireframes and prototypes of Taskmaster. Now, on the basis of what features we have prioritized, we need to design the dashboard, the task creation interface, and the different collaboration tools that we need. Now, once all of this is done, you will start working with software developers to build Taskmaster. And this is where you will bring in agile methodologies for holding regular sprint meetings so that you can track the progress of your product development phase. Now, once the initial version of Taskmaster is ready, you will conduct a beta testing, wherein you will invite certain users who will test the product and give you the feedback. Now, once you have incorporated all the feedback that the users have provided, you are ready for the launch of the product. But before launching the product, you will have to finalize a pricing strategy for your product. Now, let's say in this particular case, you decide on a 3-tiered pricing model wherein you have different versions such as free, pro, and enterprise, and each version will have different features. Now that you are ready with everything, you can launch Taskmaster. You will be working with the marketing team who will create campaigns to increase awareness about your product. And you will have to give a brief to the marketing team that what kind of features they need to highlight when they are trying to build campaigns for your product. Along with this, you will also work with sales team and you will give them a pitch which they can use to reach out to your target customers. Now, after the launch, you will continuously gather feedback from users through reviews, surveys, and direct interactions. And then you will use the feedback to make regular updates and improvements to Taskmaster. Now let's understand how is product management different in product-based organizations versus service-based organizations. Now your product-based organizations are companies like Google, Adobe, Microsoft, Oracle, Salesforce. And similarly, if I go towards service-based organizations, now these are like Infosys, Wipro, TCS, and all of these organizations who work with customers on their requirements. Now, the key difference between product based organizations and service based organizations is that the product based organizations will create one product which is going to be used by all their customers. They won't tailor the product for specific customer needs. But in service based organizations, it is more like a customer will come to you and ask for a specific product which has to be built for that particular customer's needs. Now, if I have to give you an example, let's say you're working at Infosys and Reliance is your customer. Now, in certain cases, Reliance might come to you and say that they need to create a wallet for GeoMart. Now, in those cases, you're working only on that specific requirement of Reliance, and that same product is not going to be used by multiple users. While if we take example of Microsoft and let's say Microsoft Office as a product, now this is a product which they have created and which is used as is by all their users. They don't give specific features to specific customers for Microsoft Office. Now the key question comes, how can you get into product management and why generally MBA is required to get into product management? So, if you look at the example that I gave, you will understand that a product manager needs to have a broad business knowledge, which means that they need to have some information or some knowledge about marketing, operations, finance, which are basically different domains. And the product manager also needs to have some sort of financial acumen because they will have to project the revenue that they are going to get from a particular product. They will also work on the margins. They will also work on the pricing that they are going to set for their particular product. Now, along with this, the product manager also needs to have strong analytical skills when they are conducting market research. And also, they should be able to extract market insights and user insights, which means like what kind of user persona they are going to target, what is the user behavior, what kind of journey a user takes for their product. Now, all of these skills are generally developed during an MBA program, but it doesn't mean that you can't get into product management without an MBA. Now, let's say you're from product development background, so you can take some courses on marketing, finance, and operations. Now, these can be basic courses where you are learning about conducting market research, extracting insights from that, then understanding about user personas, user behavior, user journeys, and then in finance you can learn more about how to project revenues, how to build margins, and how to build different types of pricing models for your product. Now, once you have done this, you can network internally within your organization with product management vertical. You can probably take a small assignment with product management team wherein you can showcase that you have technical as well as business knowledge that a product manager requires. And that is one way wherein you can transition from a product development to product management. Now, let's say you are from a non-tech background like me and you want to get into product management, then what can you do to get into product management? Let's say you are already pursuing your MBA or you have already completed MBA. Now, in these cases, you can start projecting your complementary skills. By complementary skills, I mean that let's say in your past experience, you have worked on things like digital marketing, wherein you were understanding market research, you were un- taking out insights from that research, you were understanding about user journeys, user personas, maybe you were forecasting revenues, you were forecasting margins, you were building pricing models in a different sector altogether. But now these are all complementary skills which you can project to the role that you are planning to apply to. And through these skills, you can get a foot in the door for product management. Now, let's say by doing all of this, you're still not able to get into product management, then what can you do? So you can target specific organizations or specific industry. Let's say you want to get into tech industry and you have identified maybe Google as your target company. Now you can also look for tech consulting or sales roles in Google, and then like how a product developer would internally network within the organization, you can also do the same thing. uh, and you can also work on small assignments with the product management vertical. You can showcase that you have skills, and you can show that you have that expertise which is required in a product manager, and that is how you can transition into product management. Now this is a longer route, but yes, you will successfully reach towards your goal. Now, what are tech PM roles? Now, as I explained, the product management basically starts with an idea. Then you get into market research. You identify key features. You prioritize key features. You work with UI UX designers to build wireframes and prototypes, and then you work with developers also. Now, once your product is developed, you will you will conduct testing. You will price your product. You will also work with marketing and sales teams to launch your product, and then you will keep gathering feedback about your product and keep improving the product. Now in tech product management roles, generally your role will be limited to interacting with software developers and testers. You might not be conducting market research, you might not be working with UI UX designers, you might not be pricing the product, you might not even be launching the product. And there can be different people in the organization from the business side of product management who will be doing those things. And that is why I said that even if you are from a non-tech background, you can get into product management. Probably you can start with being on the non-tech side or the business side of product management, and see if you are interested into getting towards technical product management, then you can look into it. And vice versa, let's say you are in product development, then you can look for tech product management roles and gather business knowledge simultaneously, and then get into a more holistic product management role. Now, in most of the product management interviews, you are given a case studies. Now, these case studies are very different from the traditional case studies that you are given in consulting interviews. These are much shorter, and these are case studies like, let's say, Netflix wants to increase its revenue in a particular country. Then, what kind of features or capabilities they should build to increase the revenue? And similarly, let's say Uber wants to increase its revenue. Then, what kind of features they can build? Or let's say Google Maps just want to increase the user engagement, then what kind of features they can include to increase the user engagement? Now these are the case studies which we will cover in the later videos. Now, the last part is what courses you can take to strengthen your profile for product management. So, I have mentioned 3 courses in description which are completely free. So, you can take those courses and learn about product management and start building your profile for getting into a product management role, especially if you are from a non-tech background and you are planning to pursue MBA, and post MBA you want to get into product management. Now, if you like the video, do share it with your friends and family members, and also do subscribe to our channel so that you can keep getting regular updates from us about product management or different career paths or MBA in general or any of the higher education courses that are available.